Hi guys, Jean here with another update. Today I'll be looking at the sound phenomena that people have been witnessing around the world. The sonic booms, the sounds of trumpets or horns, and even described as machinery, as well as visual phenomena that appear in the skies. I'll be looking at possible causes and theories, and also some very technical details. I'll try not to go too technical, guys, but for clarity's sake, I feel it's important that I cover all the aspects, including the technical side of it. But I'll try and use layman's terms where I can. In my blog, you'll find it under interdimensional chaos in the sky. So let's start with the theories. People say that the sonic booms could be caused by jets breaking the sound barrier. However, no jets have been witnessed in and around a sonic boom event, and as far as I know, air regulations prohibit jets from breaking the sound barrier over inhabited or areas where there's high numbers in population. So I doubt it's jets that are breaking the sound barrier. Then the trumpets, there's some people that say it's angels blowing trumpets as per revelations, indicating end times. And then there's underground alien activity, amongst other theories. So let's go right in there. Now, guys have taken measurements of the sound phenomena, which sounds a lot like machinery, and this is a spectral analysis of that sound. I'll show you what sound, man-made sound, looks like from machinery. I've got a plot over here. For example, this is noise produced by a rotary jet engine. You'll see there's lots of peaks, and those peaks sort of are always there. And then around those peaks there are other frequencies that vary slightly. But you always have a fundamental frequency and some harmonics of that fundamental. Now, man-made machinery typically produces this sort of spectrum analysis. It shows you frequency versus sound level or sound pressure level. So yeah, there's always peaks that sort of remain constant, and then other frequencies around that that are almost random, you could say. Now, if you look at the spectrum analysis of that machine sound that was heard in South America, it shows maybe one or two peaks, but they aren't constant. They vary a lot. There's a lot of random frequencies in the sound, showing to me that this is definitely not man-made, because debunkers have said those noises are man-made, and then the people run these sounds through massive amplifiers. But then again, if that was the case, people would be able to locate the source of the noise, and witnesses have tried to find the source, and it doesn't matter where they turn their head, the intensity sounds the same. So it's not coming from a loudspeaker somewhere, the massive amplifier. So that to me rules out man-made noise. So Coming back to sonic booms, guys have always, together with the sonic booms, a lot of witnesses have come forward showing photographs of what appears to be an outline of a triangle left in the clouds, or of a oval type of object leaving some sort of remnant behind in the clouds. And I surmise this could be a TR3B. These have been seen all over the world. There was even a wave of these sightings in Belgium and in the UK. And the TR3B, if you don't know, is a man-made anti-gravity craft. It's in the form of a triangle, and it operates with a torsion field sort of generator there in the center. It gives it the anti-gravity capabilities, but as I understand it, the technology is not that advanced at this stage that it reduces the mass or the weight of this craft 100%. So they need sort of a jet just to take care of the remaining weight, which is very little. That's why this craft is so fast and agile. So yeah, I think it could be that leaves that mark or outline. And then if you listen to Corey Good's testimony, the Dark Fleet operates what they call the pumpkin seed craft. There you can see it. And this outline reminds me a lot of that craft. So I think it's just speculation. These two craft are flying over the States, some form of experiment going on, breaking the sound barrier, and then there's nothing to show for it afterwards. These things are so fast, they can disappear in a blink of an eye. So that's why we see these outlines in the clouds. Then there's other people that say it could be HAARP that's causing the sound anomalies, the trumpets, the machinery, and that type of sound. But HAARP uses radio frequency, and radio frequency is not audible. Radio frequency uses electromagnetic propagation, so it cannot stimulate your ears through an audible means, as far as I understand. And yeah, HAARP uses that, and it produces patterns in the clouds, because HAARP focuses very high energy radio frequencies into the atmosphere, and some photographs show patterns like this. HAARP looks like this. It's an array of antennas. They call it a phased array, which makes it possible for these guys to beam the radio waves in any direction they want. They can focus it anywhere in the sky they want by means of this phased array. The antennas are here, and the radio equipment's obviously in these containers. Massive complex, and apparently there are a few of these around the world, not just in a lab. So yeah, those people that report the trumpets or sounds of machinery haven't reported any phenomena that they've seen in the sky. So I think that to me rules out HAARP. And then the book of Revelations in the Bible does describe the 7 trumpets that will sound when a world-changing event is about to happen, in this case the end of the world signs. But not everyone around the world has heard these. So I don't think that God will only allow his angels to blow these horns in certain locations. I think it will be a worldwide event. So I think, with all due respect, that is ruled out. And then underground activity, well, yes, there are bases like Dulce, which are underground alien bases. They share these bases with humans, and they use special technology to excavate these tunnels. But the sound that the witnesses are reporting are omnidirectional and come from all the surrounding, wherever they may look, they hear the sound. So it's not coming from the ground. If it was coming from the ground, from underground activity, they would be able to locate the source of the sound as to coming from the earth. So I think that also rules it out. Then there's this phenomena which was first seen in Norway, as far as I know, with these massive spirals, and then a black hole that forms from the center and consumes the spiral moving out. Some debunkers have said that it was caused by a failed nuclear ballistic missile, but then again, these things have been seen all over the world. So I don't think those are all failed missiles, and they leave a perfect spiral. Guys, Google that and check it out. I think a couple have been seen in Australia as well. So, there's these sound phenomena, these visible phenomena in the skies. I theorize that these are definitely not man-made. The sonic booms, the trumpets, the horns, sounds of machinery, definitely not man-made, but possibly interdimensional breakthrough. That's what I call it. Interdimensional breakthrough from another reality into ours. And, it could even be, as supernatural researchers surmise, it could be the Earth or our solar system that is moving into another area of space where vibrations are much higher. That could have an effect on the Earth somehow. They say it could be related to the photon belt, which infuses Earth and the solar system with higher energy vibrations. I'm not quite sure how that works, but that's another theory. And guys, then maybe, there are people that say Earth is a living organism, and they call Earth Gaia, which I think means Mother Earth. And there are people that believe in this Gaia theory, that the Earth is also saying, listen, stop destroying the planet, stop destroying each other before it's too late. So maybe those are warning signs coming from Mother Earth herself. Who knows? This is pure speculation. Then it could even be ETs that could be showing us signs in the sky that they're trying to make contact with us. There's just some things that I want to go into before I finish around HAARP and Chem-Trails. I think it's important that I just quickly cover this as well. So yeah, HAARP uses radio frequency, and it's in the HF spectrum. So that's between say 1 megahertz and 30 or 35 megahertz. and we are currently in a solar minimum. The sun goes through 11-year cycles, and when it's at its peak, there's a layer in the Earth's atmosphere called the ionosphere, which it then irradiates and ionizes, which makes it possible for high frequency radio frequency waves to bounce from the atmosphere back to Earth. So when that happens, you can go over the horizon. HAARP and other technologies like over the horizon radar use the ionosphere to bounce signals so that they can get over the horizon. Otherwise, it's just line of sight, and the Earth will block the signal. So you won't be able to get much further than, say, 100 or 120 kilometers. But with the ionosphere charged or ionized, the radio frequencies will bounce. That's why we can listen to broadcasts from overseas on shortwave. But when it's at its solar minimum, the ionosphere is not as charged, making this sort of skip not possible. So I theorize these chemtrails that you guys are familiar with, especially in the States, where they use HAARP and over the horizon radar extensively, they rely on the ionosphere being charged. And now that it isn't, I'll quickly go to my website where I'll show you that the sun goes through cycles every 11 years. They started measuring this in 1938 when the sun was at a solar maximum. It then goes down, comes up, goes down over 11-year cycle, and currently we are at a solar minimum. So there that is, guys. I'll add the link to this page in the description. So these chemtrails, the compounds, the chemical compounds, include microscopic metallic molecules which spread through the atmosphere, making it sort of a substitute for the lack of an ionosphere that can skip radio waves. So my theory is these guys are pumping the skies full of these metal particles, microscopic particles that we breathe in. They don't care what it does to our health. What they care about is that the over the horizon radar works, and that HAARP works, and some people have even said it aids them in identifying us entering the Earth's atmosphere from space. So these guys don't care about our health or the Earth itself. They just care about being able to do their thing. So yes, radio propagation over the horizon. The ionosphere is very weak now at the moment, so they pump it full of metal particles which reflect the radio waves for them. That's just my theory there. So yeah, these chemtrails are very bad. I think it's related with HAARP. Guys, let me just go back to the blog. Let's go by there. Interdimensional chaos. There we go. Yes, I've covered that, covered that, and yeah. So guys, I'm going to add a video after this. I've taken a couple of video clips that just look into this phenomena. It's the sonic booms, the HAARP, trumpets, horns and machinery, as well as these visible phenomena in the sky. So I hope you enjoy it, guys. I'll get back to you soon with with another update. See you then. Bye-bye.
Since 2009, there have been a number of cases of strange sounds in the skies reported all over the globe.
Such sounds have been reported in Kentucky and Indiana. In fact, the sounds have been reported right here in Louisville. Wave 3 meteorologist Brian Good has been looking into this. He joins us now with what he was able to find out about these sounds.
Oh, so mysterious, aren't they? Well, Shannon and Scott, you know, these sounds are certainly eerie and have taken place during the day and at night. And in most cases, they last about 1 hour for each episode. I invite you to listen carefully to the sounds you are about to hear. The sounds certainly get your attention, and they're making headlines all over the world.
Tonight, investigators are trying to solve a bizarre mystery.
Strange noises heard around the world the last few weeks.
Hoje, Marcelo Espanha, boa noite para você. Conta melhor essa história pra gente.
A loud, strange noise early this morning woke up families in St. Paul.
Some people describe them as trumpets. Others called it a long hum or even booms, like this recording in Tallahassee, Florida, back in 2011.
Don't go out there. You see anything?
The sound lasted nearly an hour.
I know it's coming from there somewhere.
The mysterious sounds were also captured on national TV during a Tampa Bay Rays baseball game.
And the bunt is fouled. The count is 1-1.
And what could that possibly be? Somebody shut the door.
It sounds supernatural.
So what is everyone hearing? There have been many theories: earthquakes, electromagnetic activity, solar activity, secret government projects, and of course, UFOs and the supernatural, or maybe just an elaborate hoax. And it's not hard to think about this being a hoax. It's easy to mix audio with video and put it on YouTube. But what's raising eyebrows is the number of public reports to emergency officials. And those personal accounts, they show conviction, including Louisville resident Jeff Van Kuren, who recorded the sounds taking place right here in town.
I was in bed at the time. I went outside to see if I could figure out where it was coming from, what it was, and it just seemed to be coming from everywhere.
Jeff and his wife were lying in bed, watching TV in their PRP home, when the sounds got so loud, they drowned out their program. The couple, so startled, Jeff grabbed his cell phone and shot this video.
It's very hard to describe. It's a kind of a wispy, kind of a low roar. It's really strange when you experience it in person and you see or hear these noises, and you don't see a plane, you don't see cars driving by. It's a peaceful night.
All right. Well, we do not have a definite answer yet as far as what exactly is happening with all these reported cases, but it is clear that something is taking place in the skies above. It might just be a matter of time, though, before someone captures the moment that could finally explain it all, guys. And
I have goosebumps now.
It's been a little eerie, and we've had several videos actually in Louisville. Jeff was the one that agreed to come talk to us, but it's something that several scientists and experts I've spoken with are familiar with. They are still, though, investigating.
The invisible UFO with the space-age engine kind of humming.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows?
Crazy.
Yeah.
Well,
reporter's point of view, it is so difficult because as soon as January of 2012 came, up on the net were these montages. Somebody had gone through and gathered all of these 2011 sounds, put them together from all over the world. Up until January of 2012, the general public was not aware. I was not aware. Whitley Strieber was not aware. No one was aware that there had been videos taken of these strange sounds. And then everybody was struck by one in particular from Kiev, Ukraine, August 11th, 2011. And then what happens? We're all intrigued. There are other sounds that people say it's like a television that is off in the distance, and they're trying to make out the human words in the language of whatever their language is. But it doesn't matter which country. It doesn't matter if it's Norway, the United States, wherever it is. They can't make out words, but they think they're listening to voices. What is that? Then there are the people who have been out with their video, and it's night or day, doesn't matter, and they are putting their camera up to the sky, and you're hearing what seems like very loud white noise with static in a rhythm. And that makes no sense either. So now you've got all of these different types, and the one sound that made everybody chilled, frightened, I think is a fair statement, is Kiev. United States. They've contacted me because I do Earth Files and Coast to Coast and Dreamland and Say. I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning. It sounded like a TV set was on upstairs. I get out of bed, I go upstairs. The TV's not on, but the sound is filling the air. I go outside, it's louder outside. And one woman, Kansas, did this. She stayed out with her dogs for 15 minutes trying to figure out, well, who has a TV set on? Never left her mind that she was not hearing a TV set. She looks at her neighbors' large acreage properties. They're not right next to each other. So the nearest is about, I think it was an acre or an acre and a half away. The lights, there's no lights in that house. Then a little further on, she can see houses that are a little further, so far that she knows that what she's hearing with her ears cannot be from the far houses, and the nearest house is completely dark. There's no light on. So she is puzzled, walks around, and so many people have told me exactly these same words. Linda, I try to find where is the sound coming from, and it didn't matter whether I'm turning, it doesn't matter whether I'm looking up, it doesn't matter if I'm looking down. The sound is all around, and I couldn't find a source. But there is something about those sounds that when I listen to them, it makes me nervous. The sounds make me nervous. Nervous because I've never heard anything like it. And when you are hearing something that is around the world in so many different countries, and you've never heard anything like it before, to not be nervous would be unnatural. And if you're nervous, what is it about the sounds that seem to be provoking in everyone I've interviewed a sense of a warning? And what would be warning us? Why would there be a warning? This is where the next step that some people, not all, have taken is, it made me think of Revelation in the New Testament. And at earthfiles.com, my news website, because I had heard that from several people, I went to the King James Bible of the Christian faith, of the Revelation, because the people had said they had thought of it. And what is so interesting, there have been news reports, oh, it's Gabriel blowing his horn. There's not a single mention of the Archangel Gabriel in Revelation. When you go to Corinthians, there's no mention of Gabriel's name. All of them are simply angels blowing trumpets. And as you go through Angel 1 through 7, whether it is Corinthian talks about the seventh angel and Revelation talks about all seven, you realize that for how many, 2,000 years and older, there was in the Middle East, in the old Hebrew traditions and others, a link between angels and angelic realms and sounds to warn and wake up humanity before, and that's the question mark, before what?
Before what?
Yes.
Stargazers have a big mystery on their hands, a giant spiral of light that suddenly appeared over northern Norway. The winding image could be seen for hundreds of miles, fueling speculation that it was anything from alien invaders to a new phenomenon. Alex Marquardt reports from Moscow.
Norwegians were treated to a spectacular light show early Wednesday morning that immediately set tongues wagging, everyone asking what created that giant blue pinwheel in the sky. Speculation has settled firmly on a failed Russian rocket test. Russia's defense ministry has refused to comment, but military sources are telling leading Russian newspapers that there was a test of a Russian Bulava intercontinental ballistic missile that failed yesterday. It had previously been announced that there would be tests of the Bulava in the region between December 7th and 14th, and specifically from 2 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Wednesday morning, according to one Russian newspaper. But for now, that's simply the leading theory behind the mysterious blue lights. Alex Marquardt, ABC News, Moscow.
Let's add to the equation HAARP, High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program. This is a facility in Alaska. We believe there's 18 such facilities around the globe now. As the ionosphere is hit with these particles, as they ionize the whole atmosphere, make it more conductive, these signals can actually manipulate the jet stream. The data is quite clear on that. They cause a bulge in the atmosphere by heating it to tremendous temperatures, and that manipulates the jet stream. We believe, in fact, we are seeing huge jet stream manipulation. It's part of the reason why California is frying right now. As these clouds are hit with these signals, you see how they align like this. And this is indicative of them being exposed to these radio frequency signals. These are very powerful signals. So our bodies, as they become more conductive because we absorb this stuff, these signals become more detrimental to us as well. We're an electrical organism, so all these things hamper our own health function. Another article, the effects of HAARP on the ionosphere. Again, the atmosphere is nothing but a massive physics lab for these people, and they seem to have no regard for the consequences. Clearly, something radical happening to this cloud, and we can say for certain that something's going on, some sort of experimentation. This is not a natural phenomenon. Same here.